Hi folks, we have a game for you from round 1 of the World Cup. This is one of my games that I recorded while playing, originally without commentary, but we can have a look now at how it went. And joining me today is David from Germany, who is actually a specialist of this Mammer's Farce agenda. Hello David.
Hello there.
Yeah, so David was also our guest on one of the Friendly Council episodes that I'm also looking to have released very shortly, and knows this agenda inside out, but usually it's played out of Greyjoy or Martell competitively. So what do you think about Mammer's Farce in Targaryen?
There are two very interesting builds, I think. One of yours, like a basic burn deck, with the support of the Fools, and I think there's a Voltron deck out of Targaryen Mammer's Farce, which uses Halden Halfmaster, because then you can put all the attachments on it. You can use Outwit to protect your maesters, and you have like a big character. And with Queensguard, he gets bigger and bigger every time you stand him.
Yeah,
And you have the option to put insight on him due to the Fool tech. So I think there are many viable builds, more viable builds for House Targaryen than for any other faction for Mammoth First.
yeah, I saw that Voltron deck. I think Hannes was playing it online. It was really impressive to get Haldon up to something like 20 strength with Tokers on him. So that was pretty impressive. And in this tournament, I think Spain also played Mammer's Farce in Targaryen. A bit more burn there, actually. I have Dracarys here, 3 copies, but I think they also played Consuming Flames and some other stuff. And this is more of a rush type, and so the dragons can get keywords, right? With the dragon has 3 heads event, but it's a bit problematic. It doesn't automatically work with Shagwell to give every fool the keywords, because you're not really putting gold on the dragons
because of the no attachments
exactly
keyword, right?
Yeah, then all the attachments would fall off. So it's basically 2 separate things. It's the dragons that if you get the full set, you can play the event and get a good round from that, and there's the fools package. Keywords usually you can find on the opponent side as well, but just in case you can, there is Daenerys with Drogon. She has Renown, which is, I guess, the most important one. She also has Insight and pretty easy to give her stealth. So
yeah, and you run Bravos in the list. This is a card we discussed in the last video, I remember. And I'm looking forward if I get to see some Bravos action and how many gold it actually will net you.
Yes, so Bravos actually performed really well in this tournament. Happy to include it. The plot King in the North, which is a great plot for this deck, actually blocks it, which is slightly unfortunate, but okay, you can survive that one round. And I think after the tournament, I wouldn't really make that many changes. So the deck was alright. 1-2 loss to one of the games I threw away with stupidity. So really should have been 3 wins, 1 loss, which is a pretty decent record for a faction that I was not comfortable playing. But I really had to take it on. And happy to find a deck that was fun to play. And for this game, so we have the Bulgarian Stark deck. I was actually really pessimistic, because you can see here that this is extremely aggressive, right? Plays 2 sneak attacks with ice in the deck, and winter is coming, and
put to the sword and put to the torch. Yes, like if there is one deck that cries aggression, it's this one, or that shouts aggression, it's this one, right?
Yeah, Greywind also wants to eat the fools. But so fortunately, at least there is no Bolton Flares, there is no First Snow, right? So I had to rely on getting some duplicates and really a lot of characters, a lot of Claim Soak in round 1 to survive. But I was thinking maybe this one would not go so well. So what do you think about the matchup when you look at this deck?
If I look at that stack, I'm happy that Rob is not the restricted card because of 3 times Grey Rent for the Stark list. And they only run one Elisane Mormont as a restricted card, which is interesting. I'm not sure. I'm not so familiar with Stark. I'm not a Stark loyalist, but from my thoughts of deck building, if I would like include a restricted card, shouldn't it be 3 copies? Or at least switch then to a plot who is restricted? What do you think? Like if you run a restricted card, like 1 copy of a restricted card, that looks weird to me. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm not familiar with that concept. What do you think about that?
Yes, it is slightly unusual. So the inclusion of Alicane is sensible. I think she is a character with stealth.
Yes, she's
And
like a bonkers character.
yeah, she can take ice. She has no attachments except weapons, so she's alright. But yeah, why not the extra copies? Interesting decision. So there's no resets here either. You could just pretty freely take 3 copies without any obvious downside. So yeah.
And there's 2 summers, but not Temple Wolves, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
what do you think about Arya Stark, the core Arya, with the stealth and the extra save, compared to if you play a really aggressive list to no save Arya?
Yeah,
Like
so
just looking to the to the deck list. I think if I run a super aggressive deck, maybe I play no save Arya and then go higher on Alicent for the stealth.
yeah, to get through the saves, to get through the duplicates, it makes sense to play the other one. But I guess pushing military through really important. So maybe the stealth helps there. Not sure what the thinking was or how much testing was done. But there is also, of course, march to the wall. So you can, if you can eat through all the claim soak, you can possibly march something big that is protected.
I really like the list. It looks super solid.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. I think I recorded another game, or maybe watch the stream. Yeah, watch the stream of Zini recording this, and I really wanted one time for this deck to absolutely kill everything in its sight, and never really delivered. But it does look pretty threatening when you look at it. So
Yes.
okay, we
Yeah.
can check the game, I guess.
Yeah, let's go to it.
Right, and here we are. This is, as I said, round 1 against the Bulgarian team, and this is my opening hand without any economy. And usually the first instinct is to click mulligan, right, when you see a hand without any econ whatsoever.
Yes, but as a fool player, you can probably draw into it. You don't run counting coppers, so there are some arguments. You have like the best 2 fools, and you have a Dracarys and a dragon, but you did take the mulligan.
Yeah, so plenty of econ here with bravos, but no duplicates, which is dangerous. Of course, you can play the 3 fools that are here, but if the opponent plays sneak and tech, does a military challenge and has a kill effect on top of it, then the whole game
I think the strength of the Stark deck is it needs only to win 1 good challenge, and then it can just spiral out of control.
Yes, exactly.
But Bravos will do good here, right? Because you start with the 3 gold. Like it immediately nets you even, and then the next turn you probably are up.
Yeah, I could have set it up, but I was really worried about Frozen Solid. I really thought I needed the econ, so I would go second against the sneak attack opening. That was my thinking, and then I could play Bravos. And I have a dupe of Penny, which is really nice, so that's one character that will just absorb claim without dying, and there's nothing to follow it up. So there's March to the Wall, but there's no Morgulis, no First Snow, so if you survive the onslaught at the beginning, you are then probably fine for the rest of the game.
Yes, and you have a dragon, so you can at least lower the strength.
And there's another dupe, so really fortunate start, I guess. Dontos, of course, himself can provide a save, but only works with Daenerys.
It works with the enemy characters too, if you want to stand him for dominance, or if you have like another, if you can give him another icon. So if you don't want to kill, let's say, an enemy lord or lady, you can save and stand him.
Yeah, we'll see.
Sometimes it's important, and in my deck, it's with Prince's Plan. I can give him another icon after this, and then I can use it again, and he draws a card more.
Yeah, haven't really been able to make that work in this deck so far, and I don't think in this game I'll have many opportunities to kill anything on the opponent's side, given the strong military focus they have. But yeah, anytime you can get fools to stand twice, of course, it's an additional bonus. Get the extra card. And my opponent here just, of course, calculating how to get everything killed. Of course, he doesn't know what is coming on my side. I also have a Drogon with Dracarys, so I was thinking maybe I would be able to kill something off if military is not strong enough, and maybe survive that way. That was plan B. And you can see we have 3 different factions in play, and if Drogon comes into play, then that's 4 gold for Bravo, so even in the round it enters play, it's immediately giving +1 already.
Yes. So, do you play your Unbridled now, or do you save it for Daenerys?
Well,
What do you think?
so currently if I play it on the 3 fools, they have nothing from that, right?
Not unless you draw Shagwell.
Yeah, so I guess if I am over reserve when we are in dominance, then I would consider it. Otherwise I keep it. So the intrigue claim is not going to be a problem. It's going to be military for sure here. And actually interesting situation. So ice on Arya, and if I play Nightmares, then she loses her military icon, so there is no way for her to kill anything with ice.
Yes, the problem is if he has for the north, he can push through the Dracarys, right?
Yes, so
So, like, my fear would be now that Tarun runs the Dracarys. Runs the for the north into the challenge.
yes, but we have faction card Nelt and all the gold used, so no winter is coming in this round, and I was just thinking it's going to be 2 claim. I have 2 duplicates that I can take,
Yes.
and I can block ice with Nightmares, and then my fools, when they stand, I get 3 extra cards, and probably I'm alright there for the rest of the game with Claim Soak.
Yeah.
And if it's some kind of weird attack here that dies to the Dracarys, okay, that's fine as well.
Yeah, but my first idea was, oh, it's easy. Like we Dracarys Arya, she and the dupe dies, and everything is fine. But then I thought, yeah, maybe if he like preemptively plays the King of the North, and I think the Nightmares is the way cleaner solution to the problem.
Yeah, I think I consider that scenario in the actual game as well. I think there's 3 copies, right? Of for the
I think
north.
it was Let me look it up. It's, yeah, three copies.
Yeah, so if my opponent played absolutely correctly, optimally here, and did it in the first action window, then yeah, it would be a problem. Then ice would trigger, but this way I can stop it. And then I have that for the not for the king in the north that I was looking at, that stops ice for sure one round. And I was considering whether to play that in round 2. Just looking at the loyalist to see what exactly happens here with the Dracarys, what is protected. Each participating, so I can't really burn anything, right?
Yes. I haven't seen that card in a long time, too.
So I would need to play nightmares on him. Oh, I can each other. Okay, so I can burn him at least. That's fine. It's not super strong. I'm still losing military against the 4 strength guy. But then makes it awkward for my opponent in future rounds to dominate challenges with just 2 characters, and really awkward to play any kind of march to the wall. Yeah, and probably not defending this, right? Because getting military claim on top of that is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Arya's dupe.
I was thinking, damn it! I think I would have let this challenge just go like completely unopposed, and he had the For the North to be seen, and then I think I would try to do a power challenge, and since Arya has strength 4, he could block the power challenge to stop the insight and then play the Dracarys then, and kill Arya and return ice back to hand. So it's like another card of the 5 reserves. So he would lose like 1 more card. Or you gain unopposed intrigue and have the dragon stand for dominance. That would was the line I calculated in my head to do.
Yes, but actually I have no intrigue icon at the moment because Penny is not turned on.
Yes, but you do power challenge with Penny and the Fool, and you hope that your opponent blocks it, and then you play the Dracarys on the Arya. So you kill her and the dupe. And right? That was like the line I would have tried to play out.
Yeah, it would work. So unless my opponent, of course, played that for the north. And as you can see here, so he's now stuck with ice on Arya. Doesn't want to lose the dupe because then she has no military icon. So had to claim the other body and can't march at all now. Needs a bunch more cards in play. And this is where the plan already kind of failed. So there's another chance, right? Another sneak attack with ice could still kill 3 characters.
But you could counter with the King in the North, right?
Yes, to stop ice at least. So then it would just be normal claim unless there is put to the sword. And as you can see, under one of the fools I have a dupe of Drogon, which also is not bad. So in this particular game I'm looking for dupes. In other games maybe going wider is better. And now there's a choice to be made. So if you play King in the North, that stops Bravos. But there is nothing in hand, nothing under the fools that needs marshalling. There is Daenerys actually. So I can marshal her if I play something else. But I can play King in the North, get the dupe, and basically do nothing else that round. Then if I get to claim military, I claim the dupe and yeah, one of the fools. It's not great. I would prefer some more claim soak.
you have more military icons, so you could theoretically go for Palace, but that also stops Daenerys with her ability at least. You could go Smith. If he plays like more location, you can immediately kneel them. So he's then stuck on 5 or 4 gold, depending which plot he plays.
Yeah, I was also looking at the initiative a little bit here. So he has a sneak attack that wins for sure, even against my maiden opening. And I was thinking maybe play one of the lower ones here. King in the North is only 2. And then for the rest of the game I might be able to go first. And we have the Dragon event, which gives Intimidate.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we are, safe from ice for at least one more round, but not for a claim, and could be raised to 3, or I guess in theory even 4. And this is quite decent, getting another body here.
Yeah. I think I would have chosen Smith now. I'm not sure what you are doing, but
Yeah, so the Smith I often play in round 2. It's pretty safe. You get the reserve up to a respectable 6, and there is good gold. But actually, in terms of location control, I haven't really been doing that much with it in this tournament. And Grey Wind is a potential danger, but not this round. And here even the strength, actually leaving the attachments on the fools, helps a little bit, because they go out of Grey Wind's range. There is no Robb Stark in the deck.
yes. And you can play the small fool as well, because next round he has 1 more strength, and then he's also safe from Grey Wind.
Yes, that's if he survives. So there could be 3 claim here, and I need to keep, of course, the one that has Daenerys under him.
So this signals winter is coming.
Yeah, and that's still quite a lot of claim here, right? Because I have 1 dupe. That means 2 characters still need to die.
Mm-hmm.
And that means maybe one of the uniques, or the one that has Daenerys. I definitely wanted to do military back as well, because my opponent is struggling here. Just 2 characters.
Yes, and we have to, or you have to keep his board presence low, so that your march, that he cannot march you so easily, right?
Yes, March
And
actually is pretty bad for him at this point, right?
Yeah, and he was unlucky with finding no economy cards so far.
I'm having to make a difficult decision. Do I let Penny die? She is unique, but 2 copies already. 1 in play, 1 in the discard pile.
I think it's Penny you let die, because Dontos gets better with Daenerys, and then he can mitigate the claim.
And there's only useless Bravos in there.
Yeah.
Now Targaryen does have some options to resurrect characters. There is Fire and Blood, but that is almost always used to put a hatchling directly into play. You can use it on other characters just to shuffle them back into the deck, which I really honestly don't remember the last time I ever saw that played in a game. And he has Intimidate, right? So couldn't defend this, because then the other military icon would get intimidated. Now can do power back, but okay, it's a minor concern. Just get one of the characters killed, and then hopefully the two fools will get some useful cards, and I have Daenerys that can be played next round. And I really want to see the Doob go, yeah, so now we don't have to worry about ice.
Yes. Unless he finds more copies of her, right?
Right, which is entirely possible. Let's have a look. Nightmares, so that already solves the problem.
Yes.
And we have Rhaegal, so if I marshal Daenerys and Rhaegal, that's very strong. But I need the gold, and now I lost Penny. We have 3 from Bravos and 2 King's Roads, right? So that should be plenty to marshal Daenerys and her dragon.
Yes, and then you have like the insight going off and the intimidate and probably winning initiative, right?
Yes, now it becomes really easy to win initiative. I have plots with 7, 6 and 2 4s that are very playable. Dohaeris maybe won't get played this round, this game at all.
And you have like the 2 Kings Road that gives you also the initiative.
Yes.
So being up for an initiative is solid.
Right, and having a round with everything on strength 3 actually looks promising now, because we have the dragon event and Rhaegal is coming, so we'll have 2 separate challenges where we can intimidate, and if everything is on exactly 3, the intimidate works out really nicely usually.
Yes, and it's not telegraphed in the first challenge, which is also very nice.
Yes,
So
as long as there's no Viserion, right? Because he also gives stealth, then you would need to play it beforehand usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, more to claim coming, but this time I can go first. And this turns off Grey Wind completely.
And if you have Sir Dontos nailed, he can then stand to save at least one character. If somehow miraculously there's coming Mira out of shadows for some stealth action and Daenerys would be nailed, something like that.
Yeah, so 14 gold if I use all the King's Roads. I was just thinking, since I did draw Vargon, whether that was an option for me, but seems like Daenerys and Rhaegal is the better choice. And yeah, Rhaegal of course can stand her, so she can do 2 challenges and has Renown from Drogon, and then things can go really fast.
2 insight. Don't forget the inside.
Right.
The best keyword.
Yeah, so she costs me 7, even with the 2 King's Roads. Slight bug here from the Iron Throne. Doesn't recognize her as a character when you use the King's Roads. Thinks she's an attachment.
Yeah. It's the same with the cards, the attachment that are under, then you want to marshal it like seized by the guard into an opponent's location.
Right, and there was another interesting actually scenario that we've come across before this tournament. I'm playing King in the north in the deck, so if I have events under my fools, they are also attachments, and it's questionable whether you can use them. Are you trying to trigger abilities on attachments then that the plot would block or not is the question. And we have a ruling for this tournament at least that you can still use those events.
Yes, I think that's a good ruling.
So as you can see, I had to use both King's Roads to be left with enough gold to play the event if I wanted the market, which I did. So annals potentially to come, and having a market in play is very useful because you can remove the opponent's events, which in this case are dangerous. There is winter is coming, and for the north.
Are you starting this phase or this round already?
What do you mean?
Removing the events.
Oh, so the market usually stays standing until dominance, right? And then I can check what is happening, and almost always it will be putting the opponent's events on the bottom. There's nothing else for it to do, unless sometimes with Benjicot you can manipulate that, but yeah, I think you need to be a better player than I am. I keep forgetting exactly how his ability works. So he can reveal the bottom card, and then if it works out trade-wise, you can draw it.
Yeah.
And happy to have the market now because Bravos just got killed off with that frozen solid. But my expensive stuff is now in play. Daenerys basically is the one that costs a lot. Everything else is cheap. And now, yeah, this is just going to be a free round, right? Of doing everything I want because I have 2 intimidates and military claim. So nothing to strike back with for my opponent. Just worried for a second whether there is anything, but I don't think there are any surprises. No way to give Arya the icon here, and no way to get around my plot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think I would have started with the intrigue challenge to kneel out one of the military icons or the power icon, depending, and having the insight. So if you draw into a Dracarys and then he defends because he gets intimidated either way, that you can like kill more characters.
Yeah, not this round though because of my plot. Can't burn anything.
Ah, yes.
Slight anti-synergy there, but it's not really supposed to be burning a lot anyway. Just I thought actually I did not have Dracarys in my original draft at all, but then I thought it's open deck list, so the opponents will panic about it and try to play around it, which is a win in itself.
Yes, I'll agree. And finding a hand's judgment here is very nice.
So losing some power for dominance by attacking with both, but I usually try to put all the fools I can into the challenges because they draw extra cards.
And there's the Dracarys.
Yeah, and here is where I actually am struggling a little bit. So I haven't gone into this this routine with the fools yet. So I don't know what to do with the jester and how to resolve those forced abilities to get the correct order. I just think it never seems to matter. And now with Annals potentially coming up, I can remove that Winter is Coming. And next round I can do put to the sword as well if there's a threat of a win by 5. Yeah, so one of them is the card that was chosen by the Jester, but or actually did I have more insight after that triggered? And it's in hand again, not sure, but nothing else is going to be removed, right? Because there's no reset, and now I'm thinking my opponent will really struggle to push any military challenges through again.
Yes.
Annals wins initiative, and I can just do the same round with that event. Yeah, and this time there is enough renown to just win, not only block everything my opponent is trying to do.
Yes.
Yeah, if Bravos was available, Vargo would also be able to come into play. But now basically no gold, I can just check the cards under the fools. Patchface seems like he's still worth it, right?
Patchface is still works. You could consider Nightmares his Rose World to net him 1 less gold. You could bestow the Begging Brother and the Patchface under the Fools, since you cannot bestow them anyway if they come over. So you could try this with Unbridled. But I think it's bugged again, right? Patchface don't get the military icon. Can't use the GG.
Yeah, Patchface. I think the first round where he enters play, he always behaves in a really weird way, but yeah.
No, it depends if you marshal him from under a card. If you marshal fools from as attachments, they don't work. But if you play them from hand, they work. That's what I found out.
Yes, but I think after the round ends, he then gains his icons for the following round, if he's bugged. Yeah, something for the team to look at, but this agenda has caused a lot of problems with the complicated mechanics. Yeah, so there is the game.
I throw more in the meta. What do you prefer?
Yeah, well, it's playing this in person seems like a real nightmare because even if you play it online, you get a bunch of surprises always. You get unexpected keywords and unexpected things you weren't really counting on, but the game knows about them. And yeah, at Stalek I think there was also some confusion with how exactly Bestow works. I think we kind of missed that collectively, that you're not supposed to trigger reactions to entering play and resolving Bestow.
Yes, I think that was we had that ruling, right? The ruling came after Stalek, I think.
The ruling, there was an old ruling from Danny Schaefer about I think it involved Valyrian's crew. That basically was the same situation, and just no one thought about it. But yeah, it was illegal even before then. But some players did use it a little bit at Stalek. I saw one of the recorded games, but I don't think it made a huge difference. At least the games I watched from the winning deck, the Greyjoy Mummers. I don't think I ever saw it being used in an incorrect way, but it could have been, of course. Okay, so that's the game. Went much better than expected in the end, and I think that's just about the best example of how this deck can work when it works. Okay, didn't get Shagwell here for the extra keywords, but that went well, and
luxury problems. You didn't need it, right?
right. There's also recordings where it doesn't go so well, which I'm sure you have seen, and that's just the nature of the game. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing, and thank you for correcting me on my wrong assumption of who can burn and cannot be burned in this game. I enjoyed this. Anytime you want to do this again, give me a call.
Yeah, thanks a lot for joining, and looking forward to the Mummers episode of the Friendly Council being released in a couple of days, hopefully.
Hopefully, before they restrict the shit out of it.
Yeah, and if it happens, we'll just we've had that before in previous episodes. We'll just do the changes that need to be changed, unless it's completely killed off. Then I guess we are stuck. But I think they won't kill off Mummers. It's just such a fun agenda. But it
like
could be
if there ever will be like a legacy format, like when you can play some like the legacy decks. On how they were legal at their prime, I think the Mummers deck is definitely like worth being there, either in the Greyjoy variant or in the Martell variant.
Yeah, I think so. And we'll see what the future holds. So maybe if those two factions are targeted specifically, then maybe Mummers could be played in other factions as well. It has potential for sure.
I think in Lannister, like right now, Red Keep putting gold on all the fools with Shagwell, and then you have like the Lannister characters, and you have the fools for draw. Like, why not?
Yeah, exactly. I think in the past we had that with Valyrian Steel, right? Where before the redesigns, I mean, where decks were just playing the agenda for the extra draw, and it was just good stuff decks. So it could turn into something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all we have for this video. You can enjoy other videos from the what remains of the World Cup in the next few days. And thanks David again for joining.
Thank you for all your content you're providing, and I think you're doing a huge thing for Thrones, and I'm very grateful that we have like dedicated players in the community like you that provide content.
Yeah, absolutely my pleasure. And to all of our viewers, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Don't play Terrell.